Now to make some remarks and present a proclamation to the family in honor of Harold Gauthier, I have the pleasure of introducing a fellow combat veteran who is still serving in the Army National Guard, Albany County Executive Daniel P. McCoy.
What caught me about your dad was the young age of 17 years old, basically. Just turning 17 when he's going off, goes to boot camp, raises his right hand, serves his country. And think about it back then, that's, you had newspapers and radio. That was it. That's where you got your news from. A little bit of TV. And probably to get from Albany to Troy back then, probably took you 3 hours, which we wish it was that way now with the new county executive over there. But that being said, think about crossing the pond and going there as a 17-year-old kid, not knowing what's in front of you and seeing this whole new world and then being in war. I mean, it says a lot about your dad. It really does, about a service to his country and his, at a young, tender age. And I always remind everyone, less than 1% puts that military uniform on every year. 1% defends our freedoms. To agree to disagree, to believe in whatever God you want to believe in, to protest, not to protest. I don't usually get upset as most other people do because that's the given right you have in this country. You go in anywhere else in this world and do a half of what you do with the freedoms you got in this country, you're being locked up. You're being thrown away. So if anything, respect the veterans that honestly defend your rights to believe in whatever you want to believe in. And, it's amazing that, from 1945 to 1946, he served, came back, got his awards. And I always say this about that era, they are extraordinary. They came back and they built this country today what it is, the backbone of our country.
Harold never talked about his service, and this is not a one-off. If you look at some of his peers who served in that same generation, in that same time frame, they never really talked about their service despite their sacrifices. And if you look at some of the timeline of when he served, and we're coming on the cusp of, or we just passed, I should say, Thanksgiving, there's a very good chance that he served while Thanksgiving was happening on one of the warships, whether it was the Birmingham or the Sutherland. And that's one of those things that puts it into perspective. While myself, many of us, had a chance to spend that time with family, with our loved ones, he was on a warship potentially, giving his time to country, giving his time to service. And he leaves behind a phenomenal legacy, not only in his personal life when he came back from service, but in his military career.
Yes, just 17 years old. And to think of what he experienced in that 1 year of service aboard 2 ships, one a cruiser, one a destroyer, one with 8 battle stars, and then one just coming up and served in that ship, went on to serve in Korea and Vietnam. But during that time in the war, you saw many people coming back, and then you also saw men like Harold staying on and having to do a tremendous cleanup effort, if you will, in the Pacific and throughout that theater. And to think of what he encountered, what he experienced, what he saw during that time as a young man, and then coming back, and how that shaped his life and his career and your family for generations is, something significant to ponder.
Oh, what a remarkable, remarkable legacy, not just from your father and grandfather, but also your grandparents and great-grandparents. I do love each month when our JRTC is here, because we are reminded each month of the extraordinary, extraordinary shoulders we stand on, and the history of this country of service before self, which is still my favorite line. That service before self is truly something we can never forget, and that I think is important that we take each month to honor those who truly embody that service before self. So these proclamations are the smallest of tokens, but it is very, very heartfelt to honor your dad and to show our appreciation this many years later.
And that sense of self-determination is something that's so important for us to see, to remember, to talk about, and for young people to hear about. They were very different times, but they were times that helped to form people who at the age of 17 was able to go off and fight for this country and make a contribution. And that should inspire all of us, because it is that sense of self-determination, of being able to lift ourselves up, of recognizing that each of us has a role to play.
My name's Kelly Nappy. I'm the Chief of Staff at Watervliet Arsenal, and I'm here on behalf of the men and women at Watervliet Arsenal to honor Harold's service. I would just like to say this is always one of the events that I look forward to when the Colonel is unable to attend. It's always a great honor to be able to learn about local veterans and their service to the community.
But I appreciate everybody showing up to come and honor him. He been going 49 years, and to this day, I can still see his smile, listen to his laughter, and unfortunately, my mom can't be here today. She's 92 years old, and her health isn't well, but everything that's here today, I'm gonna bring to her and present it to her, and I'm sure she's gonna love it. She really wanted to be here, but she couldn't, but she said, and she sent her appreciation and thanks to everyone.
Day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, the hill, and the sky, all is well. God of compassion, dignity, and strength, watch over this veteran and Harold's family. Bless Harold and grant Harold's family comfort and everlasting peace. Amen.